Several U.S. businesses in South Africa have dug deep into their coffers to contribute to the country's Solidarity Fund, as well as provide other support during this COVID-19 pandemic. President Cyril Ramaphosa announced the establishment of the Solidarity Fund in March to assist those who are ill and support those whose lives have been disrupted by COVID-19. So far, the Solidarity Fund's website reflects 2.51 billion rands received from companies, organizations and individuals. We caught up with the U.S. Ambassador to South Africa, Lana Marks, for an update about the direct support that has poured in from the United States. Welcome, Ambassador Marks, and thank you for joining us.
Famida, it's a great honor and pleasure to be with you today. Thank you so much.
Ambassador, we've seen that many U.S. businesses are contributing towards the Solidarity Fund, and also the U.S. government has contributed a lot so far to South Africa. Could you tell us more or less, more in detail, what has been received so far in South Africa?
Yes, every major corporation that's involved in business in South Africa is contributing to COVID-19. I'm so proud of our private industry and in a very substantial way. And in addition to our PEPFAR program, CDC and USAID are contributing about $23 million in partnership with South Africa with the COVID-19 effort. And the thing that I'm really proud of now is that the American government, through my President Trump and USAID, are contributing 1,000 state-of-the-art US-made ventilators to all of the intensive care rooms throughout the hospitals in South Africa. Approximately 24 of the major companies in South Africa that are contributing in a major way with PPE, with everything across the spectrum in every respect you could possibly imagine. This is every major company, from the companies producing Remdesivir to John Abbott to Hewlett Packard, every major company. There are 600 companies of the United States in South Africa operating, and they're all being very benevolent and contributing in a most visible way to COVID-19 and to South Africa. I'm very proud of them.
Ambassador, the United States has so far recorded the highest number of confirmed COVID-19 cases. I think it's over 1.6 million that's confirmed so far. Can you tell me, in terms of the tests, how are you going about with the testing in America, and what sort of ideas can you give us here in South Africa?
Firstly, may I commend President Ramaphosa and Minister Mkhize on doing an incredible job with the lockdown and taking strict action, and for the extensive testing that is going on throughout South Africa at the moment, and increased supplies of tests that are coming into South Africa. There has been extensive testing throughout the United States. President Trump has given each governor jurisdiction over how they wish to handle each of the 50 states. He's helped each governor with anything they've needed immediately. Governor Cuomo, the governor of California, throughout the United States, and they are doing extensive testing at the moment. And there's been a lockdown, as you know, in the United States as well. Some states are opening up, but giving each governor their own jurisdiction over each state, taking into consideration CDC guidelines and the guidelines of Ambassador Birx, who's well known and loved by South Africa, and Dr. Fauci. It is a very complicated issue, and we are working very, very hard on a vaccine with many companies at the moment. And I would use President Trump's language. He's working at warp speed himself, calling firsthand personally to all the companies to develop a vaccine for not just for the United States, for the whole world at warp speed.
And what can we here in South Africa take back and learn from the United States at the moment?
I think South Africa has learned from the United States, and that's why the President and Minister Mkhize have implemented such a strict lockdown and curfew, and they've received much criticism about this, which is unfair and unwarranted. Yes, there are people who need food. There's people in the United States who need food as well. There's many hungry people in the United States, and people are going overboard to assist the people who need food, as they are doing here in South Africa. And obviously, President Ramaphosa said from June the 1st, we will go down to phase 3 in South Africa. But I would just advise all South Africans to really give the president a chance with the strict lockdown, because he's prevented probably hundreds of thousands of deaths so far. And had he not done the strict lockdown, and had there been hundreds of thousands of deaths in South Africa already, can you imagine the outcry, not just the outcry in South Africa, but the global outcry? I mean, as has just been released by Minister Mkhize, he's released the gloom and doom picture that was predicted for South Africa, which was not a good one. And so I really commend them even more strongly now that they've released these figures, which are still being criticized. Look, South Africa had to take strict action. They did. And they have to be very measured. They've, today again, the curve has gone up. Yesterday it was down, which was a good picture. We thought perhaps it's the start of evening out of the curve, but it's not by today's picture. So South Africa has to be very, very cautious. The curve has not flattened yet in South Africa. And so please, to the peoples of South Africa, please respect what President Ramaphosa and Minister Mkhize are doing. They're doing the right thing.